Tony Bradley died for our sins. That's the title of the video. And it's my general thoughts. Tony Bradley died for our sins. That's a play on words from the saying that was given for Sam Hinkie and his unfortunate departure. In this case, though, it's not going to be an unfortunate departure. It's going to be a bittersweet one. We all talked about Embiid insurance, Embiid insurance, Embiid insurance. And I do believe that B-Ball Paul can develop into that for us, or maybe it's more a position of luxury. And you had two prospects like Tony Bradley and B-Ball Paul. But man, does it hurt to have a gem? And then, obviously it's important. Getting a key line fourth starter to secure a championship is way more important than the backup big man of the future. And quite frankly, literally deserves to start in the NBA. Like Tony Bradley, you're on national television and you dominate. You didn't just outplay, you dominated James Wiseman. So now you can kind of understand Steve Kerr's frustration. I don't care if you're 20 years old. You're supposed to be the number 2 pick in the draft. So my scouting department should have assumed or graded your game out to be above average center in the league. Not, I can't rebound, I don't really protect the rim, I'm not really a jump shooter. What am I doing? Is James Wiseman going to be another one of those super athletic but never ever reaches his potential type? Even in year one, that worry has to creep in greatly because this dude is not effective at all. Not even a little. Like, you can no longer blame Steve Kerr. That is the James Wiseman mess, and that's something for James Wiseman to work himself out of. He is not an effective basketball player right now. But to do that against a player who was the number 2 overall pick, whether he is deserving of it or not, meaning whether he was deserving of being picked that high or not, regardless of it, he was the number 2 overall pick. You outplayed the number 2 overall pick. Excuse me. Had a hoagie a little bit for breakfast. You outplayed the number 2 overall pick in the draft. You outplayed him at his home floor on national television a day before the trading deadline. Could have been a bunch of distractions, but this dude comes out here and dominates. James, we don't win that game without Tony Bradley. I know Ben Simmons went harder than him in the fourth quarter, got you a couple of clutch buckets, made his free throws a little more respectably in that crucial fourth quarter. Tobias Harris was big as always. Yeah, that's true. But you don't win this game without Tony Bradley tonight. 18 points. I think it was 8 rebounds or 10 rebounds. Hold on. I don't want to be the type of guy that gives you inaccurate information. And I got the scoreboard right here. 11 rebounds. I'm sorry. I know that Tony Bradley is a beast on the boards, and I still undercount him. 18 points, 11 rebounds, 7 of them on the defensive side of the ball, by the way. 2 steals, 2 blocks, only 1 turnover, and just 3 personal fouls. If Tony Bradley can get that timing right and keep his fouls to a minimum, I said it, this kid, he had unique circumstances. You play behind Rudy Gobert, you play behind Derek Favors, and you play behind Jerome Embiid and Dwight Howard. I mean, unless you're one of those, the kids right in school, you see them late to class, wearing inappropriate clothing despite the dress code. They're in an all-prep school and they still dress like they came from a homeless place or something because they just don't give a shit. So only if you were that kind of player from the basketball equivalent could you not have learned from Embiid, Gobert, Favors, and Howard. This young man has taken everything that he's learned over the course of 3 years and he's put it to the court. I have never seen a big man who runs as fast as Tony Bradley. That's the number one thing that pops up on tape. This kid is the fastest center, maybe, of all time. I'll add the quantifier. I'm born 1992. I started watching the NBA in 2001. So I will quantify that. If any older head than me has seen a faster center, they could say so. But I have never seen a faster center in my entire life. I have never seen, technically if you wanted to call Ben a small ball 5, but you know how I feel about that. I think that Ben Simmons is strictly a forward in this league. And that kind of showed up in the third quarter again tonight. And you see with the Sixers, Woj said they're targeting every guard. Why? He's just a 4. I'm not going to complain too much about it because I made a deal with Lance Woj. I said as long as we win, I'm not going to complain about the subpar point guard player, Ben Simmons. I'll just enjoy the win. I'll enjoy his aggression. I'll enjoy his defense. I'll enjoy how he came alive at a crucial part of the game. And I'm just going to ignore the fact that a major reason for the third quarter collapse wasn't just Ben. Toby did miss shots in that third period, but Shake Milton cannot be our backup point guard. With Shake Milton, something very clear is taking shape. Shake Milton is the type of guy where if he focuses on scoring and just scoring, he's an effective player. But if you ask Shake Milton to not only score and play make, he can do both. I don't think Shake Milton is Lou Williams. I think he's more Jamal Crawford in this role. So you're going to have to not only get this starting guard that you get, but you're also going to have to get yourself a backup point guard. Or you move Steph Curry to the bench, and you hope that Steph Curry is a better backup point guard than he is a starting guard. I don't know what you do with that backup spot, but clearly you need someone to run the second unit. Shake Milton can score in the second unit. Furkan Korkmaz can score a little bit in the second unit. But you just don't have a general for that second unit right now. And that's a big part of the reason that second unit sometimes lays an egg. If the defense is matched up to 100 on the opposite side, if they're kind of, most second units have scrubs on defense. So with that, you can overload on your scorers and not care so much about playmaking guard off the bench. But I would literally try to get Patrick Beverley from the Clippers. Doesn't even have to be a playmaker. Just give me a guy who isn't going to turn the ball over and can shoot some spot-up shots. Because just asking guards to playmake, in the case of Shake Milton and Steph Curry, they're not natural playmakers. They're not natural at it. Sure, they can do it in scheme, just like with Furkan Korkmaz. You can ask Furkan Korkmaz to handle the ball, but he's never going to do it as naturally as someone who grew up, played in the AAU circuit, college circuit, and developed handling the ball. You understand? Get dudes who play that position all their life. Not dudes that we put there because some idiot thought it was a novel idea because he was 6'10", or scorer guards who should be focusing more on scoring and playmaking. Now, Doc Sims is tied, don't get it twisted. But it's just an area of need in this trade market that Dale Moy has identified and Dale Moy has targeted. And I'm happy to see it. I was definitely afraid, I made that rant. I was like, is this organization committed to its deathbed on the idea that he is the Magic Johnson to be? He's not. To me, Ben Simmons, once this happens, you're going to see a different Ben Simmons. He is a more athletic Chris Webber. Yes, his assists might go down if he's no longer the primary, but guess what? His turnovers will go down and his field goal percentage will go up. Do you think I really care if Ben Simmons is a better player? If his assists are down, do you really think I give a shit? The answer to that is no. I really don't. I really don't care. I don't care to chase the triple-double. That is Russell Westbrook's thing. We don't want Ben Simmons to be a glorified Russell Westbrook. A more athletic Chris Webber. Chris Webber is in Hall of Fame discussions. And he didn't win a championship. Ben Simmons gets to be with Joel Embiid. They have a chance of winning 1, 2, maybe even 3 titles together. So Ben Simmons, if he wins a couple of titles at that power forward position, his best position, he will go down as a lock, first ballot lock for Hall of Fame. So I ask you, Sixer fans, what would you prefer? a Hall of Fame talent at a Hall of Fame level, or would you prefer him as a mediocre ball handler in open court? To me, I don't know about you, but we would hate Ben Simmons, not even hate. We would be less frustrated if the player who was 6'10", 225 played his natural position. That is all. We wouldn't be asking him to, oh my God, please shoot a jumper. We wouldn't be asking for any of these other things if he weren't handling the ball from 30 feet out. It would be like putting some slow tight end at wide receiver and then asking the wide receiver to bust the move on the outside flank. And it's like, no, he's not that fast, so it's not fair. It's the same thing. It's not fair to ask Ben Simmons to be a better point guard. I'm taking this is my reasonable take on it. It's not fair to ask the 6'10", 225 guy who only played a position because some idiot who not only was he the worst offensive tactician that I had ever seen, but he was also maybe one of the worst scouts of all time. Ron Neto over Shake Milton. How do you look at that tape, that LSU tape? How do you look at that and say, point guard? How? The man's a monster rebounder. The man scores in transition. There isn't a single power forward on planet Earth that could cover this guy. And that's already the mismatch. You wanted to put Ben at point guard, hunt mismatches. He had a natural born mismatch. There wasn't a need. So even from the mismatch perspective of chess here, it was utterly unnecessary. I just don't understand. I will never understand what his thinking was. And the funny thing is, back in the 2017 Summer League, he was like, we'll think about it. Did not take him long. Just saw a couple of, training camp scrimmages in 2017 to make him say, okay, we're going to play him a point guard. What? I digress. Obviously the guy don't want to beat that horse, but this guy was a terrible evaluator all across the board. There was no evidence to suggest that Ben Simmons was ever a point guard. There was no evidence to suggest it, and we wasted years, assets, and draft capital on that naive assumption. So thank God. So this is the number one example. Ben's stunted growth is the number one thing. Joel Embiid's growth was stunted too. Because of it, it all correlates. That stupid idea literally saved 3 years of their basketball careers. Thank God he is gone. I don't know why it didn't happen sooner, but also in a way it was good that it didn't happen sooner because you don't get that movie, you don't get Daryl Morey if it happens that soon. But, at least it happened. And at least this front office with Daryl Morey and the analytics and the scouting all come to the same conclusion. The dude's a better power forward than he is a point guard. Put him back at power forward and get yourself a starting point guard. And third quarter collapses. I won't ever say that there'll be a thing in the past because it's the NBA, it's a game of runs. But you can make a mini run in the run if you have a stable point guard rather than asking Ben and Shake and Seth to run your offense. It's just comically not good results. So why did Tony Bradley die for our sins? Not just the incredible game that he did, not only little leads. Let's go look at his stats. I watched the game, but 11 points on 5 of 13, only 4 rebounds and 1 block. 4 minus 7. He would have been by far one of the worst players on the floor if it weren't for Andrew Wiggins. 6 for 15, 14 points, 3 turnovers, and a negative 29. I remember when I was thinking the Sixers wingman position is garbage. And even Danny Green had a better game. 3 for 8 for 3, 11 points, but no turnovers. No turnovers from Danny Green. And That's the big thing. If you're not going to turn the ball over, if you make no negative plays, then obviously that's good for you. So, alas hurrah to Danny Green. In the last 2 months, Danny Green became serviceable. And for that, I applaud you. I applaud you for being serviceable. I applaud you for being serviceable. But yeah, Tobias Harris, 25 points, 13 rebounds, 4 assists. I think that's like his 5th straight game of 4 assists or more. So Tobias Harris becoming something of a secondary pinch playmaker can help you stabilize that as well. So shout out to Tobias Harris, man. Ever since the All-Star snub, he's been like, you know what? I'm going to do everything I can humanly do to make myself a better player, to flash out for the media. And there will be nothing better than that, than getting the number 1 seed throughout the entire NBA. New goal. We will have the East on lockdown with a trade. We'll get to the trade discussion in a minute. When we upgrade this roster, we will get the number 1 seed in the East on lockdown. We're better than the Nets. I'm sorry, but we are. We are better than the Brooklyn Nets. We know it, and I think the Nets fans are starting to know it too. We're the best team in the Eastern Conference. That's no longer my goal. Set your sights on bigger goals. We accomplished goal 1. It's a trilogy of goals. Goal number 1 was to be the best team in the Eastern Conference. Goal accomplished. Now we're looking at goal number 2. Goal number 2. Best record in the NBA. That's goal number 2. Now, why is that goal number 2? Well, if we finish this regular season with the best record in the NBA, we will have home court advantage throughout the entire playoffs, including the finals. How cool would it be to be able to secure that and to be able to have a Game 7 potentially at the Wells Fargo Center? Of course, it'd be great for all of us if we could finish the series before 7. But that would be the ultimate. I don't know if there's any statistics on how many number 1 overall seeds won the NBA Finals, but I imagine it's a lot better than not. To be able to have that Game 7 at the Fargo, if you can handle it, if you can get that done. But that is goal number 2. Goal number 2 is the best record in the NBA regular season. And we all know what goal number 3 is. Goal number 3 is to bring it home, win a championship for the first time since 1983. And you know what? Under Coach Doc Rivers, I think we can get it done. Yeah, we're going to lose a couple of rotation players and a couple of back-end players. But if you consider the core to be Ben, Tobias, Joel, Shake, Bible, if you think of those 4 players as what you're going to keep, and you're able to bring in, so let's talk about it. We've been linked to Kyle Lowry, and that looks like, let me make fun of the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat, there were reports, and there was a poll out, where Miami Heat fans voted literally 51-49 on not trading Tyler Hero, who sucked, by the way, tonight, but for James Harden. Now, it was one thing on our part not to trade Tyrese Maxey. This is a young kid with a lot of promise, 6'3" ball handler, can attack the rim. If he ever gets his jump shot right, as he gets older and stronger, you can see Tyrese Maxey becoming a blue chip player in the NBA for a decade or more to come. I get that. Tyler Hero rode the wave of the bubble, maybe harder than any Heat player, to be brutally honest with you. Tyler Hero, much like his teammate Duncan Robinson, if they're not hitting shots, what do either of them bring on the court? Like, there is a reason you're 500. Stop drinking the court. Actually, no. For right now, you can drink the coffee. But I want you to wake up sober and realize Tyler Hero's an okay player. He's okay. He's nice. Neat little piece. But come on now. He's giving you 13 points on 40% of the field. Enough. He's not the next Jordan. He's not a franchise player. He's just a dude. Duncan Robinson is just a dude. Kendrick Nunn had a great game. He's a very solid point guardish. They're dudes. They're replaceable. They're dudes. That's why you're 500. Because they're dudes. They're dudes. They're good on the court, but they're dudes. You can get an all-star point guard for dudes and take it. What the hell are you doing holding on Tyler Hero? If the Rockets are like, we want Tyler Hero to be a mainstay of the package for James Harden and Jimmy Butler together, and you're holding on to Tyler Hero? Dude, a force for the trees. Tyler Hero might be a decent pro at basketball, at best. But that's James fucking Harden. What are you doing? Stop literally overrating your own players. You know, we overrate our own players, but at least we scout them. I scouted Tony Batley, and I'm like, holy shit, this kid actually is really good. I think he can see Tyler Hero dropping a b-ball every now and then, and thinking he's the next coming of Moses or something. It's absurd. He's a decent ball player, but he shouldn't be holding you back from Kyle Lowry or Jimmy Butler. Stop it. Actually, don't stop it. Do that for the rest of the day. But in the future, stop it. He's decent. He's average, but he shouldn't be holding you back from an all-star. He should not be holding you back from an all-star. But hey, it's to the benefit of my franchise if you continue thinking that way. So think that way for the next 24 hours. It's just ridiculous. I can't imagine. That would be like us saying if a team wanted, this comparison was actually made on Twitter, where Tyler Hero is basically Furkan Korkmaz. And you know what? Furkan Korkmaz, 4 for 8, 2 for 6 from 3. 12 points. I said that Tyler Hero was giving you 13 points on about 42%. Literally. If the Rockets said that Furkan Korkmaz was the center of a James Harden, we would have been traded his ass. If that were the case, we would have been traded his ass. Like, okay, here you go. Come on, Miami fans. Smell the coffee. He's good. He's decent. But he's not the future of the Heat organization. And I feel like if Tyler Hero remains the same next year, they may finally be like, whoa, shit. He had a good bubble. Everyone had a good bubble. Jamal Murray had a good bubble. The bubble was the most unnatural basketball environment ever. It was almost less of the playoffs and more of a training ground. More of a training ground for developing your players. The Phoenix Suns went on that 8-0 run, and then they're able to acquire Chris Paul in the offseason. I'm about to say Steve Nash. They acquired Chris Paul in the offseason, and they just go ballistic. The NBA bubble was more about young players developing than it was about anything concrete. And the question was, and Tim Legler himself brought this up, the question was, could you take what you did in the bubble and translate it to a more normal NBA setting? And obviously, in the case of Tyler Hero, the answer is no. So you've got to get Bubble Hero out of your head. It's just not happening. But hey, for 24 hours, keep to that delusion. It helps my team, and that's all I care about. So I think that's all. Shake Milton, he had a +6. I mean, he got to the line, hit a couple of buckets, and technically it's a 2-to-1 assist-turnover ratio before it's just a 2 turnovers, but I did not Oh, here's someone for you. Mike Scott. Mike Scott. Now, you're going to have to trade him regardless to get these salaries to work. But Mike Scott. Like, this guy's a scrub. I mean, I'm stating the obvious, but holy shit. Are you kidding me? This dude played 13 minutes of basketball. Like, you know, you're not moving to trying to. We probably would have lost if he did the normal hold people out, you know, to keep them getting injured. Good thing that we didn't. And good thing that they obviously didn't get hurt either. But Mike Scott, holy shit. It's almost insulting to B-Ball Paul. I'm sorry. I don't care G League or not. B-Ball Paul is better than Mike Scott. I am better than Mike Scott. This is pathetic. 1 rebound in 13 minutes. And yeah, Tobias Harris is rebounding the ball like mad. Tony Bradley is rebounding the ball like mad. Ben Simmons is a solid rebounder. But come, 1 rebound in 13. Are you kidding me? So are you doing anything else? Over 3 and all of them are threes that you miss badly. 1 assist. And 1 turnover, so it's not even like you were positive there either. 0 points in 11 minutes. I don't know why I was reading 13, 11:50, but 0 points in 11 minutes. 0. 0 points, 0 rebounds, 1 turnover, 1 assist. No box of steals, obviously. Get this scrub. Well, he will be, but get him off the team tomorrow. This guy needs to retire. Hang it up. You clearly can't play basketball. I know I said that for Danny Green, but Danny Green kind of recovered. I don't think there's a recovery point for Mike Scott. I can confidently say that this guy needs to retire in the offseason. You just don't have it anymore, bro. Hang it up. Hang it up. Matisse only got 2 shots himself, missed the 2 threes. A steal in the box in 17 minutes. If your offense is good enough from your starters, and if you're able to maintain 3 scorers off your bench, then I think you can get away with what Matisse does. You know, once you stabilize that starting unit and you're able to make it more consistent offensively for 48 minutes, it will be less of an issue that Matisse Bible has 0 offensive game. But honestly, the way Tony Bradley flashed, the only reason I would not want to trade Matisse Bible is that we're weak on the wings as it is. Now, I know that once you get a guard and Lowry, we're going to shift Ben Simmons over to small forward. So the small forward position will actually be stronger as a result. But it would just hurt to lose a lot of your wing depth right now. But if you told me individual players between Tony Bradley and Matisse, like, come on, it's obvious. Tony Bradley is way more valuable to this franchise than Matisse Bible. Like, I don't know what GMs and scouts and etc. are seeing in a guy who is a very low-impact player, offensively anyway, and they think that he could develop into a 2-way player. He showed some signs, don't get me wrong, but he's equally showing signs of being back to this situational, you know. I think that he's more Lindsey Hunter than he is Michael Miller. And it's just, I've never been high on Matisse Bible. Scouting wise, I have never been high. I'm sorry. It's nice that he gets a steal in the box of game. It's nice that he gets some deflections. But ultimately, I think the Matisse Bible was an opportunistic defender at times. And he just gives you almost absolutely 0 on the offensive end for more than half of the games. So it's like, if it weren't for the wing, if we had the ability to trade Matisse and still have a backup wingman, then without reservation whatsoever, Like, I don't know what these GMs and scouts are seeing, but please keep drinking it because it's nice to have an asset that's overvalued. Because holy shit, I just don't think Matisse Bible is a great or ever will be a great NBA pro. So that's all about that. Alright, trade deadline. Kyle Lowry is the one name, but the other name to pay attention to, Norman Powell. I did not want to put a poll video up because I have fallen so much in love with Powell. It would be absolutely devastating. Nah, I mean, put the caveats. If we get Kyle Lowry, not so much. But if we had ended up getting nothing, I would have cried myself to sleep because even though I keep saying Ben Simmons in the point guard, Ben Simmons in the point guard, I'm going to be a little bit bad at Ben Simmons. With Jerome Beat out of the lineup, who did he add the path to that could create his own bucket? Tobias Harrison, maybe. Norman Powell would give you another playmaker on the ball. Now, Norman Powell, he is developing a little bit as a passer for others, but it's kind of a Tobias Harris type of journey. He's more of a scorer for himself right now. But that being said, he could create his own bucket off the bounce. Getting a wingman, he's 6'3" on the smaller side of shooting guard, but you're playing 6'1" Steph Curry, so it's like, who cares? The point is, this kid can attack off the bounce, has a Andre Miller type of slowness to his drives, very methodical, very thought through, but he also has this Ray Allen, Reggie Miller, Richard Hamilton ability to run off screens, dribble handoffs, get him a bunch of open feeds that way, but he could also pull up, shoot. He could shoot in someone's face. It does not matter if you run to contest Norman Powell. He will not be afraid. You know, Jerome B talked about it. Why the F are you afraid to shoot the ball? Norman Powell is not afraid to shoot the ball, even if you run up to him. So Norman Powell's pull-up ability, Kyle Lowry is also a pull-up shooter. I don't mind if he get either one. But I am a fan of Norman Powell. The age, so if you're going to extend anybody, you extend the 28-year-old over the 34-year-old. If you're thinking about cores and long-lasting and stuff like that. Plan 1A is obviously Kyle Lowry with his defense, with his intensity, with his leadership, along with his own offensive game. But 1B, this is my 1B, and if it happens, I will cry equal tears. You get me Lonzo Ball, and you get me Norman Powell. You get me both of those guys together. If we come out this deadline with Lonzo Ball and Norman Powell, and I believe what Tony Bradley showcased tonight puts you in the conversation of getting both of those guys together. You get those two players, and the Sixers will have secured the championship. Because here's the thing. This is not 2017 Lonzo Ball. This is not UCLA Lonzo Ball. He has perfected his three-point shot, and he is a three-point sniper out there. And Norman Powell is also a three-point sniper. We're not talking on-off like Danny Green and Steph Curry. We're talking 48 minutes. You leave these two guys open for a second, and they're going to knock it down. You could test them in front of their face, and they will knock it down. They are knockdown shooters, regardless of if you're covering them or not. You get both of these guys in the backcourt, and you got the best front court in the NBA already in Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, and Tobias Harris. Literally the best lineup in the NBA. Literally the best lineup. If we get Lonzo Ball and Norman Powell together, I will give up the first round draft picks. I will give up, yes, even a Matisse Bible. I'll give up a Tony Bradley. I will give up anything within reason to bring those two together. Because them off the bench, I could fix that. But if I get the best lineup in the league, holy damn shit. So that's my 1B. Seeing those two guys together. If you can't get a Kyle Lowry, I would love to get Lonzo and Norman. I would love to get those two guys. Lonzo Ball, 6'6", 215, basically similar size to Danny Green, but obviously way better ball handler. He could play off ball too. So there's going to be versatility in that. You know, he could drive to the rim and do all kinds of different things. If you could get both of those guys together, I mean, even just getting one of them, like if we get Lonzo Ball and we get someone else, that's still a very good deadline. And Kyle Lowry stays put, I'm good with that. Or if you get Lonzo Ball and Victor Oladipo, that would also be a very similar deadly combo, because Victor Oladipo, he'll slash, he'll create off the dribble as a driver, and Lonzo Ball complements that with his off-ball three-point shooting and his ability to make plays for his teammates as well. Any combination thereof. If you can come away with 2 of the top 6 players of this trade market, then Daryl Morey, I salute you. If you can come away with one of those guys and a bunch of good depth pieces, then again, Daryl Morey, I salute you. All of this actually is going to come down to Jonathan Harris. Jonathan Harris said, I will spend for a contending team. Well, there is no more of a contending team than number 1 seed in the East and Joel Embiid's coming back. So this is where you can put your money where your mouth is. To secure a championship. To move the needle. And there are so many opportunities to move the needle across the board that it will be great. I'm looking forward to this trading deadline. I'm looking forward to seeing what Daryl Morey accomplishes today and tomorrow. You know, we're basically at a 24-hour period. We're going to start hearing stuff, you know, this afternoon or a little bit this morning maybe. GMs are going to wake up and they're going to be like, okay, this isn't making time. Time to put pen to paper. Time to bring some guys to different cities. And I'm very, very confident. In fact, I have a very good feeling, a very good vibe. I feel like Daryl Morey is going to net us some fishers that we're going to like. And that these fishers, even if it pays us a price like a Tony Bradley and a Tyrese Maxey, that hurts. But we want to win a championship. And I can smell it, I can taste it, I can feel it. We're already better than the Nets. I've said it, we're better than the Nets. And we're better than whatever comes out of the Western Conference. But this will solidify it. Six of the Universe. Signing off. Oh my God. That was a Sports Talk with Bro type of video right there. Signing off, guys. Peace.